back out there. We'll see how he progresses through the week. And then again, really no change on any other Skanes. He'll probably be out 3 weeks, you know, with that shoulder that he got last week, but he's coming along. And but other than that, everybody else can go. Hopefully it stays that way. Really don't have you know, anything new there on the 2D, other than Jeremy's back practicing now, so you know, him and Ryan will compete there opposite of where Taj is in terms of the corner position. And really everything else is the same there, so really nothing new there on the 2D. You know, UMass, you know, very good offensive football team, a very active, penetrating defense that has a lot of moving parts to it. Andy Edsall, you know, is a very good wide receiver, somebody that can wreck the game, so you got to be aware of where he's at. Plus, he's a very good punt returner. Looks like Andrew Ford's out for them, from what we understand. Who's a really good quarterback, but Comus is good as well. So, you know, but again, they try to give you a lot of different looks and throw the ball and do really good things there. And then, like I said, defensively, they do a lot of movement up front and playing man coverage and doing those sort of things. So again, we're going to have to make sure that we, you know, take care of ourselves, and that's the biggest thing for me, is for us just to continue to get better during the week. And if we do that, then we give ourselves an opportunity to win. And you know, I think we're learning how to practice the right way. You know, it seems like it's getting better each week. We got to do that, continue to do that, and continue to play with confidence. And if you do that, then you give yourself the opportunity. So just like what happened last week, you know, I'm concerned with us more than I am. We understand what they do, UMass does, and they're outstanding players, but you know, we got to take care of ourselves first and foremost. If we don't take care of ourselves, then we don't even have an opportunity.
Randy, did you see last week's performance coming during practice?
I thought we had a better week of practice. You know, I did. I thought that I felt better coming out of the week of practice than I have before, because I started to see guys, you know, getting it, getting them to understand how hard you have to work, you know, in order to give yourself an opportunity to win. You know, I saw a team that was a little bit more confident than they were, and you know, I think that you know, having David healthy, you know, was a benefit. But defensively, I just saw our guys play with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more zip. And again, now that they've been into it, and they had a week off before that, so but now we gotta improve upon it. You know, we got to get better this week.
Obviously, Pendel and Mensa ran so well in that game, but how much was the offensive line? Did they really excel?
I thought that was our best game from an offensive line standpoint, where we came off the ball and were more physical than we had been, and guys, you know, working double teams and getting to the next level and really executing the things that we needed to get done. So again, that was a step in the right. And now we got to continue it. Like I said, this week will be tested because they're gonna be moving all the time. So you know, we're gonna have to be very good with our fundamentals and our techniques with you know, with what they do. So, but no, I was pleased with play. I thought Matt Kirk played his best game. I thought he was, you know, and that's what we need, you know, out of Matt. And we need him to just keep getting better and better. Ryan Crozier, but all those guys. And now we just got to get them to continue to do that week in and week out. And you do it because you do it in practice.
What have you liked about O'Neal Robinson? Obviously, he's been playing a little bit more, and what does he still have to work on?
Well, you know, if he goes outside and it's above 10-mile-an-hour winds, he might be blown all the way to Hartford. So, I mean, he's got to get bigger and stronger. But, you know, the one thing about O'Neal is he's he's pretty football savvy. You know, he's got a pretty good knack of knowing the game, and that's one of the things collectively as a team we've got to get a lot better at. But he's a guy that's probably above the curve. He's above the curve when it comes to that. He's got a good feel for things. But the biggest thing that he just has to do, he just has to get bigger and stronger. And once he does that, then I think he'll be that much better. And then he'll start even, I mean, he communicates now, but he'll communicate even more. He'll have that much more confidence, but he's not afraid to come up and hit you, you know, tackle you, all those things. So, you know, I've been pleased with his development, but he's nowhere near where he can be, you know, and that's the thing that, you know, that I'm just hoping to see is that continued progression upward, you know, for O'Neal.
You settle on a place kicker, or is that kind of an injury thing, or is Michael just slipped down to 2 for a couple weeks?
That's all based on performance. You know, play is out kicking. Now, Michael had a better day today in play, and so all we do is we chart that stuff during the week, and who's ever the more consistent, you know, that's probably who we're going to go with, you know. But then also it's some things that happen even, you know, pregame when you're watching pregame. It kind of goes right down to the wire. You know, there might be a guy that we're going to go with, but all of a sudden you go out there in terms of pregame, and you know, you're thinking maybe going with the guy, or in certain situations using a guy from a longer distance. But you know, if you see things in pregame where a guy doesn't make any kicks in pregame, they don't give you a lot of confidence. So you know, that's kind of where we are, you know, with that. But same thing with some of those other positions. But no, that's just something that we're meeting with each and every day that we go out there, and each and every day that we try to, you know, do our kicking, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we chart that stuff.
Can you talk a little about Rob King's development, as well as the versatility he brings, whether it's the Husky spot or a nickel corner as well?
Rob's another one of those guys that has good football instincts and understands things. And that was the thing that, you know, he knows and he understands what we're trying to do. He understands what people are trying to do, so he can put himself in a position to be able to make some plays. And that's the thing that I've seen with him. You know, the thing with Rob, you know, and I don't want to say comparing to, there's a guy that I've had here before that I was comparing to, but he's not as fast as that guy. And that's where Rob's got to always understand he's got to use good fundamentals and technique, because he's not the fastest guy, but he's a very heady guy and a smart guy and understands, you know, things. And you can play with guys like that, and you can win with guys like that, but they just got to make sure they do things all the time. But he's got that niche, you know, in there playing in that position that we feel is advantageous for us.
How do you think Taj played last week?
Tosh Herring?
Yeah.
I thought he played well. I thought I see a young man that's working harder than he's worked before. I see a young man trying to be very conscious of improving his fundamentals and techniques as a DB. And by doing that, you know, you see him doing some good things there on the field. So again, like a lot of these guys, you're starting to see, you know, that upward growth, you know, and now you want it to continue. And you just got to keep harping on the little things, the attention to detail, and those are the things that are going to make them, you know, that much better. And you know, we talked about it today. I mean, one of the things, and this is where, and these are the little things that happen within a program. And you know, we give them, and I don't know, I probably talked about it in here before, but you know, we assign kids weights that they have to be from a 5-pound increment. You know, this is where we want you to be, because this is where we think is the ideal weight for you to be, to be able to play to the best of your ability. And it's taken 18 months, you know, to get it right. Because on Sunday, when they all weighed in, it's the first time that we've ever had nobody that was overweight. And that's the thing, but you know, and this is the thing, and I said this to our team, and this is, and I'm saying this because this is when you start to see things are heading, you know, where you want them to head, but it shouldn't have to come to this, is what I said to them today. You know, I said, you know, this is the first time, like, and it's probably my fault, I should have done it before, but, you know, again, you try to let the young men motivate themselves and do it themselves, but I had to, about, I don't know, a week and a half ago, I told them, I said, from now on, if people are overweight, they're going to pull the sled at 6 a.m. Well, the next time, we might have had 6 guys that were overweight when they weighed in. We weighed in Fridays and Sundays. Then the next day, we had, I think, 3, and then we had 1, and then we didn't have any. So when I addressed the team today, I said, you know, I said, it's nice to see that, but I said, why do I have to put, I don't want to say punishment, but put a thing in there to, you know, make you understand that this has, it's got to be extrinsic and intrinsic instead of extrinsic that you do this. And so I'm hoping they get the message, because you don't want to, you know, yeah, if they step out of line, you hold them accountable. But, you know, so that, those are some of the little things you see that are happening. And again, that's why I said it takes a long time to get everything in place, you know, the way you want. And, you know, we'll just keep doing the things we got to do. And I think they're starting to see all these little things that we're trying to do to make them better. If they do them and get to where they're supposed to, it pays off. And that was some of what you saw, you know, last Saturday. But now, wasn't good enough because we didn't win. But now we got to do it every day. You got to do it every day. You got to do it every time you play. And you know, that's the challenge. It's the consistency part of it. But we'll keep doing the things we're doing, and hopefully they'll continue to want to do it themselves, where we don't have to do it. Because, as I said, when it's a player-driven team as opposed to a coach-driven team, you know, then you're going to be better, you know, where you want to get to.
Are those weights targets that you and your staff set, and do they adapt during the season? Because guys, I think, would lose weight during the season, wouldn't they?
Well, you really don't want them to lose weight, because if you're doing everything you're supposed to, you shouldn't. You know, you shouldn't lose weight. And in terms of how we do it, but they're set with myself, the coaching staff, the strength staff, and then we have some guys that aren't at their weights, and you know, they have to go and meet with the nutritionist. How do I get my weight up there? And we understand some of the freshmen, you know, we don't try to make anything that's not obtainable. We try to get them up 5 pounds. Once they get there, then we'll raise it a little bit more. You know, we go that way. But these are just some of the little things that we have. And yeah, when the guys come back from playing, you know, they might be down, but then again, when they weigh in then on Friday, they're back to where they are. But again, it's also getting those guys to understand that when you're playing and practicing, you know, you got to replenish and you got to do things the right way. You know, when you go up there and you see a guy eating fruit who's 5 pounds underweight, I mean, and you go in there and as a coach, you say something to them and they look at you like you're crazy sometimes, but I mean, these are the little things that, and again, it's just about trying to give them the advantage to be the best they can be.
You're talking about this upward growth. Obviously, players are probably ticked off they didn't win the game, but have you noticed an increased confidence in them in practice this week? Have they been more vocal and anything like that?
No, I thought today was pretty, I thought we started off slow in practice today, and then we picked it up and got going a little bit more. But, you know, the one thing is that they, you know, and I think, again, when you start doing things the right way and then you start winning, it builds confidence and you know, guys communicating. You see guys communicating better out there. I've seen that happen in the last, you know, couple of weeks. But, you know, we just gotta keep working to get better and improving. And, you know, the one thing that I congratulated them on was the fact that, I mean, if you take a look at where we are here in the season, I mean, we're in pretty good shape right now, health-wise. When you look at, you know, Kion's out, Newman's out, Donovan's out, Quavon's out, you know, and then of course Eli, but everybody else is really, you know, we're not in that bad of shape. So that's one of the things, at least I think, you know, they're doing a good job of taking care of their bodies, being proactive and getting in and doing things before practice, doing things after practice, the things that we're doing in the weight room, in season, you know, have been beneficial. And then also from, you know, eating and sleeping and, you know, doing those things. So again, it's just a matter of doing it consistently day in and day out. But we have been practicing better. We've been practicing more physical, and I think that's, you know, starting to pay off for us.
How much have you seen the mistakes being cut down as opposed to like a couple weeks ago? Are you seeing fewer and fewer?
They're cut down, Gavin, but again, the one thing, like the other night, we made some mistakes, but because we had everybody flying to the ball and maybe guys reading their keys a little bit quicker, some of those mistakes didn't turn out to hurt us as much as they did, you know, earlier in the season. But then again, we had some situations where we had some guys that, you know, took a bad angle or their eyes were wrong. You know, you can correct all those things, but, you know, I think they're starting to, you know, especially defensively, starting to trust each other a little bit more from the standpoint of everybody knows, you know, where to fit and what to do. So I think that plays into it as well.
The team played with great emotion Saturday night, given what had happened with Eli Thomas. Are you concerned this week that you can get them to that same level emotionally, different kind of opponent? You're at home, you're playing UMass?
I would hope not. You know, and again, that gets back to the consistency thing, Mike. I mean, you got to be that way every week. I mean, you only get 12 opportunities to play, and if you really love the game, you know, you're going to go out there and play and give it your all and everything else without having any extra, to me, any extra motivation to do that. I would hope that our guys are inspired each and every week to be able to play the game. And you know, and again, I haven't talked to any of them about this, but I think that situation, you know, with Eli was an eye-opener for them, and I think maybe they appreciate things a little bit more now. If you don't, you might as well not be human. But when you see a teammate that loves the game as much as he did and loves life as much as he did and the kind of guy he was, and taken away like that, you know, if you don't have a better appreciation for going out there and giving your best each and every day and trying to be the best you can in everything that you do, you know, you'll never learn a lesson. So, I mean, I would hope, and it's unfortunate that sometimes that has to happen for some young men to wake up and for the light switch to go on. But I would be hopeful that for the rest of these young men's lives, that they would understand just how precious life is and how important life is, and how, you know, if you don't want to have any regrets, then just give it all you have in everything that you do each and every day. And then when something does happen and if it's not there, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you know, I did everything I could to be the best husband, best father, best teammate, you know, whatever, you know, while I was, you know, doing the things that I was doing. And that's what you hope that they take from it and they live their life, the rest of their life that way. And if they do, then they learn something from it. If not, then they didn't learn something from it.
Why didn't Marvin go last week? And is he going to be in uniform this weekend?
Well, you know, I know it was a little cold, Neil, today. You know, and I noticed you didn't get out there until probably the last guys in the room. And But Marvin was out there at the beginning of the practice, and he was out there at the end, and he was running with the twos, and so.
Will he have a game uniform on this week? I saw him in practice uniform.
Well, you gotta ask him that. Because if he doesn't show up for a meeting, and he's late, then he won't. As of today, he will. But now we got Wednesday, Thursday, and we got Friday to go yet. You know? But that's a good comeback to get out of trying to not be at practice when everybody else was. So, good job.
You talk about Keon Dixon's impact on special teams, not just as a returner, but he's your leader in special teams tackles. He had 2 on Saturday.
Well, he's an athlete. And, you know, again, that's part of the, you know, gets back to the same thing, Wayne, part of the process of trying to get these guys to understand that you got to play, you can't just be a receiver, you just can't be a DB, especially some of those skilled guys or backup running back, something like that. Guys have to play special teams, and he's got the ability to do that. So, you know, Keon is getting better. He's maturing every day. And that's the thing that you like to see. And, you know, we just got to keep working with him. He's another guy that has to put on a little bit more weight and get stronger. But, you know, I think he's starting to understand that he can contribute to this team in other ways, and we're going to utilize him as a special teams player because he has the ability to do that. And, you know, the other thing is, if any, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, have aspirations, you know, for the next, you know, to continue their football career after college, and as a wide receiver, if you're not the number 1 or number 2 guy, if you're number 3, 4, or 5, you better play special teams. And if you're the number 5 guy, special teams is your niche, you know, for sure. And even the 3 and 4 guys. So, you know, that's the thing. So, but he has the ability. He's one of our fastest guys, and he's long, and he can run. So, you know, he's going to be out there, you know, helping us.
You're playing Bryce McAllister this week. I know you make those kinds of decisions, big picture, looking at the program in general, but could he have helped this team? What impact could he have had?
He decided to leave. He decided to leave the program.
He has said
I'm just telling you, I'm not getting into any of that. He decided that he didn't want to be here as part of our program.
Okay.
Does it feel like it's been forever since you guys have been back home? I mean, just being almost a month away from
Yeah, I mean, I had to take a GPS and walk to the practice field today. It's the first time I've been out on the practice field in a month. It's the best they've ever looked too, so that, you know, that's positive. But no, it does seem like a long time since we've been at home, and it's good to be at home. You had to, you know, buy and a couple road games and all that stuff, but it's always good to be in front of our home fans. Hopefully the weather, you know, will be nice, but whatever the weather is, it'll be. So.
You used to play UMass every year. How is it different now? You bring them in maybe every 3 or 4 years. Does the rivalry change when you don't see them on a regular basis?
You know, we played UMass before when we were in Atlantic 10, and now we've got them on the schedule, and we're looking forward to the game this week. And we know we're going to have to play well in order to win. Everybody good? Appreciate it.